Johnny Sack was told by his lawyer he's a young man. He'll be out in 15. He'll be out by the time he's 67. Well, in episode 79 of HBO's flagship show, he died. Stage 5. Good night, Irene. Welcome back to Fog Entertainment. It's season 6, episode 14.
14 is double lucky number 7, but there was nothing lucky for Johnny Sacks as he ends up passing at the end of this episode. We thought he'd be out at 67 years old. That is not the case. He didn't even have another year left in him. But for me, the episode, the whole story, Johnny Sacks having cancer, everything just felt rushed. We didn't even know about his illness until this episode began. And then they just throw it in there like they've already introduced it, like he's been dealing with this illness for a while. And that's not the case. You see other shows, like they would gradually introduce this, like where maybe he's not feeling well and then he goes and gets tests and then he gets the results, etc. But not with The Sopranos. It's like 1 minute Johnny Sacks is a healthy, 52-year-old who's going to be out at 67, and then the next minute he's got about 3 months to live. It's like, what the hell happened there?
And then he dies in the episode. It's not like he has 3 months to live. He'll survive a few more. No, he's done by the end. It's all over. We've seen other things this episode. Meadow and Finn are done. That just happened out of the blue, didn't it?
I mean, he didn't run off with Vito, did he?
No, Vito ain't doing no more running, boy. But yeah, Christopher's movie is done. Cleaver, post-production, everybody gets to see it. There's a guy wearing a house coat.
It looked a lot better than I thought it would look, to be honest. I was expecting this to be a trash pile of shit, but Cleaver actually looked no bad.
It looked good. We had the big party for it. Everyone was there. Tony didn't... Well, I mean, Tony wasn't that bothered, right? The guy looked like Tony a bit. He was in the basement. It looked like Tony's basement. He had the house coat on. Reality is, folks, right? Yes, the few, us, me and him, we know that that's what Tony looks like in his house, but no one else does.
Yeah, the scene where the boss and Cleaver is like he's in the basement. It did look like it looked like it was shot in Tony's house.
Chris is an idiot though, right? It's like if he wants to use the storyline like Adriana, Tony, and him, which didn't really go anywhere anyway. That's one thing, but when you make the main guy look so much like Tony and have so much of Tony's mannerisms, it's going to put the question out there about well, who got this story.
You know what? Tony was loving it. Tony was like, oh, there's a guy that looks like me. He's in charge. Oh, there's the guy sleeping with women. He thought it was great, but what I think really bothered Tony is at the end when he realises here the boss man actually dies.
Yeah, gets his head absolutely caved in.
And then I think once he puts the pieces together, it's like, oh, fuck. That's like it's a revenge movie. And now he is maybe comparing Chris to the man that was getting revenge in the movie. Now maybe he thinks that Chris hates him, that Chris wants revenge for what Tony's done. And that seems to be what it boils down to. It's not that, he's actually using Tony's likeness or, trying to portray a character based on Tony. I think it's just the end. And he's not happy with the fact that, what's this? What one of my little minions is going to get revenge on me? That can't happen. I'm Tony.
Yeah, but it's so naive because, I mean, Carmela was the one that planted the seed of doubt in Tony's head. But it's like, does Tony truly think that Christopher's plotting revenge for Adriana? I mean, does Tony... I don't think Tony thinks that. I refuse to believe that. Now, obviously, we've got, 7 episodes to go. Is Tony going to act on this feeling? Who knows what Tony's going to do? But I thought, you're right, I thought the Cleaver movie was alright. Crystal's very paranoid about this. He then goes to JT Dole and he's like, right, you need to convince Tony that this idea was all yours because it ain't going to fly. Carmela pressed Chris a bit about it. I tell you what, I think Carmela just is an arsehole. Laying it on so thick about about Adriana. Oh, what did you do to her? The way you treated her. Why don't you stay in contact with her? Oh, I know what you were doing. That stunt in the movie was about Tony and Adriana. Where is Carmela going with this, right? She knows they're in the mob. Why is she trying to cause division between Chris and Tony?
Just an arsehole, isn't she?
No, she fucking is a pure arsehole at the end of the day. And, because my wee family doesn't look so perfect on the big screen. Well, newsflash, your family ain't perfect, man. It's dysfunctional as it fucking comes. You've got AJ and his girlfriend that doesn't really like him this episode, that's going nowhere. I can't believe that Tony Soprano is sitting at the kitchen table with this woman and like this 4-year-old kid who's not AJ's and got no blood ties to the Soprano family.
I wouldn't be surprised if Tony bangs that woman by the end of this season.
Well, here, is that a bet you're willing to make? 7-1? How much you sticking on it?
That's worth a tenner. $10.
I don't... Well, I mean, see Tony, right? Is that a low he wouldn't stoop to?
I don't know, he said he looked at Christopher like a son, didn't he?
Yeah, well, he's done a lot of shit to Chris, and it's about to get turned up to the max. Just like his fucking nose. But JT Dolan, he heads down to the Bing, and he just lays it on too thick. He's like, you know, the boss man, Sally, this movie for the 50s, I watched it, and that's where I got my idea from it. And Tony's like, oh, so that was all your idea. But you can clearly tell by the end of the conversation.
Yeah, the wheels are spinning in Tony's head, thinking, this guy's trying to take the blame away from Chris. And then the fact that he obviously had a big mark on him, maybe alludes to the fact that Chris has threatened him to do this.
Which obviously Tony has figured out at this point, and then I think the confirmation of it was when he watched the 1950s movie, he sees the guy in action. I tell you what, I actually think JT Dolan came up with a decent story here, because this guy also reminded me about Tony. But that's the problem. Tony saw this guy that reminded him of himself, and then he takes that to Dr. Melfi, and he kind of just grates here, like, oh, does my nephew want me dead? I used to drive him around on the bike. He used to be in the wee basket case. That's when Salteri's made delivery. My nephew hates my freaking guts. Do you think Christopher hates Tony's guts?
No, I think Christopher loves Tony.
We literally seen a couple of fucking episodes ago, them drinking and partying. I mean, Chris, this episode has said that he doesn't want to be around the Bing because it's got drugs and alcohol, and obviously he's a recovering addict, so why the But it's Tony picks and chooses, man. We've seen a couple of episodes ago where he basically forced Christopher into drinking the wine. Oh, would you have a fucking drink? Anyway, we'll move on from that. We then cut to Johnny Sack. He's transferred to a prison hospital in Missouri, St. Louis, Missouri. How great's that? He's obviously got cancer here, and it's not looking good. He starts lighting up cigarettes. He gets 3 months left on his life. He's then told by this guy killed his wife, her aunt, and also the mailman that he could actually have 1 to 3 years. So this perks him up a bit. He starts puffing a few more cigarettes, but quickly by the end of the episode, it runs out for Johnny Sack. And
would he have survived the episode if he never took any puffs?
Potential. I actually felt sorry for Johnny Sack. It's like, boss doesn't take a deal, wasn't even allowed to really hug his family, and just dies looking up, barely able to breathe at like 52. Tragic state of affairs.
Not good.
It's not. And is it an underwhelming death for someone like Johnny Sack?
I'd say so, like, aye.
Did it need to happen though? I mean, I guess with New York, you've got some guy called Jerry gets killed, man. You get him and Silvio sitting down. Doc, he took out Jerry. Tony's not happy. He speaks to little Carmine. Shouldn't you have still the distraction? My guy could have got hurt. Carmine doesn't want to step up to the task though. Looks like Phil Leotardo wants to. He places my brother Billy would have happened there. He puts his urn on the table. He cuts a promo on Leonardo Da Vinci. He sits down. He speaks to Butch. He's like, when my family got off the boat, the Leotardo name, we were whipping boys. Not anymore. When that cocksucker, Tony Soprano's cousin, killed Billy, I can't even say his name. No more, Butch. No more. Is this Phil pretty much planting a bomb on New Jersey? Is he going to strike? It's a bit late though, isn't it?
Better late than never, though.
Better late than never is the
Phil's going
call.
to war.
He calls his brother Billy a kid. Would you describe someone as 47 as a kid?
No, but it's too young to die, isn't it? Like,
I guess so. And then we see a bunch of deceased like Libertazzi members, and it actually includes the new picture of Johnny Sack. And then you also had the scene where Anthony, Johnny Sack's brother-in-law, tells the Jersey crew that Johnny Sack's dead, and Paulie just makes it about him. Oh, cancer killed Johnny Sack, but it didn't kill me. What in the fuck is this?
yeah, why is no one calling him out for that?
Yeah. Like, let's just put it in perspective, right? Say Tony died of a gunshot at the start of this season. Paulie gets his ear clipped. Is he coming up with the same pish?
No, definitely not.
Definitely fucking not. he's a fucking yo. People will be like, well, I think you're forgetting one thing. I get it. Remember when Polly and Johnny Sack used to phone, and then Johnny Sack was like, "Oh, I always tell Carmine about you." Then obviously it turned out he didn't tell Carmine about him. So obviously Polly's still pissed at that. But you're right. How no one called this out is just a fucking absolute disgrace. We then have Chris's daughter's baptism. Tony and Chris hug, but they don't really speak. And then we can't get this like weird fucking song. Yeah, gangster. Yum da dun da dun da
It
da.
was shite, like,
it
wasn't it?
was. It was fucking weird. Tony and Chris look at each other. How long do you think Christopher Moltisanti's nose has got left on the Sopranos show?
I mean, honestly, with this, the way the Sopranos goes, it could be next episode.
Could be next episode. It may not be next episode, but we do know Christopher's getting his nose fucking held together. What are you rating out of 10?
I'll give it a 7. It was alright.
It was alright. I'll give it a 7
It was
as well.
decent.
I like Johnny Sack. I thought it was sad when he died, and I wish we could have got more of the guy. I don't know. I understand, like, Phil Leotardo's the guy they've got the beef with, and he's got the beef with them, but I just think in shows like this, maybe it would just be better if they go, like, via, a gunfight. Johnny Sack going out on the bed. Big Johnny. Anyway, 7 out of 10. Peace.